if Trey Lance doesn't work out, my focus will shift to Kyle Shanahan. Because, again, I've been on top of this, on top of this, on top of this, on top of this. We really don't, like, Brock Purdy's the leader of the clubhouse. Shanahan says he's the real deal. But are we believing what Shanahan says? Shanahan just told us last Thursday, Garoppolo's the best quarterback we've had in San Francisco since Steve Young. And my counter to that is, well, if he was, why were you waiting on Kirk Cousins?
Well, why is he not
Why
here?
did you flirt with Tom Brady? Why'd you flirt with Matthew Stafford? Why'd you draft Trey Lance? Yeah. Why'd you tell Garoppolo to move off and have him throw on the baby field on the side until you can find a team? And oh, wait, let's sign him as a backup. So I don't know what. So if Trey Lance doesn't work out, this is fully on Kyle Shanahan. And I think the seat warms up for Kyle Shanahan if the Niners don't have success this season. If Trey Lance is not on his team, if he's not successful, that's on Shanahan. The fact that Trey Lance looked that bad yesterday is on Kyle Shanahan.
You know, it's interesting because, like, I'm looking at the whole Trey Lance thing through this prism, which is similar. Like, obviously, he doesn't look good right now. It looks bad. It looks like a horrible pick. And it's not just the sole pick. It's what you gave up to get him. And they're so thin. I mean, it's just, they're very top-heavy, right? Ayuk is a stud. Debo's a stud. Bosa's a stud. Kittle's a stud. Trent Williams is a stud. But you've had so many drafts now. Like, it's kind of incredible that they've won as many games that they've had because they've missed so many picks. And Lance is a big part of those misses. I look at what Miami has done with the draft capital that they've used, you know, instead of drafting at number 3 overall, but trading that to go get, for the Niners to go get Trey Lance. Like, they've added to their team some elite players.
Yep. They have.
Tyreek Hill was one of the best players in the NFL last year.
Wow.
Right? And now you had to give him money, so it's not just the pick. You got to give up more than that. But, like, I'm looking at their drafts as a whole. Like, let's go back just real quick. Just bear with me here. The 2017 draft, their first ever draft, if you don't get George Kittle, you got nothing out of that draft.
No doubt. No doubt.
Literally nothing.
No doubt.
Okay?
No doubt.
Very next year, thank God you got Fred Warner because everything else is horrific from that draft. Everything. McGlinchey gone, Pettis gone, Moore gone, Kentavious Street gone, DJ Reed gone, Richie James gone. The next year, it was one of the best drafts in the history of the organization because you got Bosa and Debo Samuel, and you get Greenlaw. Like, those are 3 studs. You could throw Wisnowski in there. And then the very next year, Brandon Ayuk, thank God he's keeping that thing together because Kinlaw was a whiff.
Yeah.
Kinlaw was a straight whiff.
Kinlaw looks like a whiff.
And then you go to the Trey Lance draft. Trey Lance, it's a whiff right now. It's a huge whiff. Now, Hufanga has been a saving grace late in that draft, and Aaron Banks has been solid for 1 year. They've missed a ton of draft picks, B.
It's not good.
A ton.
Here's,
and the Trey Lance one is not just 1 pick, it's 3.
Well, here's Trey Lance on here's his thoughts on his performance.
I got to go back and watch the tape, and I think I have a much better idea. Definitely some good, some bad, but felt good to be back out there. Excited for next week, continue to get better with these guys.
Did he feel any pressure to perform at a high level?
It hasn't been, honestly. For me, I was just excited to get back out there. Honestly, today, that was the biggest thing. Go play real football again, go compete again. So that felt good, I guess, first and foremost. But obviously, you know, the score showed it. But just from drive to drive, just got to execute better.
What about that TD pass that almost got picked off, Trey?
It was a yes, no, yes more situation. Yeah, Dwelly ended up making a great play. The defense made a great play. I didn't think he'd be able to get to it. But yeah, guys made plays and it ended up working out.
No. Yes. No. Yes. Now, when it comes to play calling, Shasky, a lot of people I see are breaking down play calls in the preseason.
Yeah, that's
game
ridiculous.
Plans or whatnot.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
The balance of the offense and this and that. It's just, have we never watched preseason football before, folks? Have we ever watched preseason football? Well, here's what Shanahan said about his play calling.
When you go 3 and out, unless you're running it 3 times in a row, the numbers will get skewed. So you're always throwing on the 3rd down for the most part. So I think it got like that, and it's just usually when you don't play a game, it doesn't balance out. So kind of just how it went. It wasn't the plan.
Kind of just how it went.
I did want to see some TDP, some more TDP, quite honestly. But we're talking about nitpicking. I mean, this is nitpicking. No, just because I liked him coming out of LSU.
Shasky, you mean to
he's
tell
another
me here,
3rd-round pick.
I understand what you're saying. And TDP does
no,
look
I'm
better.
not critiquing play calling. I'm just saying I wanted to see him touch the ball.
But Did you not want to see Trey Lance pass?
Of course I did. I wanted both. I want my cake and eat it too.
No,
I wanted Ronnie Bell to get targets.
No.
I wanted to see Latu get targets. I wanted to see, what's the guy, T. Martin, who we've been hearing about, or Tay Martin, whatever. I wanted to see him get targets. Like, I want to see all these guys get targets.
That's it. So,
but I also wanted to see Darnold throw the ball 15 times and maybe get.
He threw it 8 times.
He did.
He threw it 8 times. Here's what Shanahan had to say about Darnold.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I mean, coming in the second half, and you're in there with 2/3s on the O-line. Same with, the receivers and everything. So, we wanted to be careful with Sam for that reason, but we also wanted him to play too. So it was nice to be able to get Trey the whole first half, get Sam a little bit. Hopefully Sam will get a little bit more time next week.
Oh, well, somebody asked Darnold if these games are important, and Darnold apparently said these games are important.
No, I think the games are, great work. Obviously practices are very important as well, but the games are great work for us to be able to go out there, operate, and play, real football. You got real refs, and you got the play clock, you got the down and distance. So, yeah, it's just making sure that we go out there and play good football and consistent football, move the ball down the field, and ultimately put it in the end zone.
So, what about Javon Kinlaw? He told everybody he's going to be coming. Hey, Spinoza, you got to go and play this for Javon Kinlaw.
Javon's just not good.
This is the greatest soundbite in the world.
Got a snap at defensive end and one of the one-on-ones early in camp. Was that just kind of experimenting with some new moves, or is that something?
Nah, bro, I'm really a freak, bro. Like, the world don't see you. Point blank, period.
Mook Dog!
I want what he's smoking.
Mook Dog! One more time. You'll go with the question.
The poor
Mook
guy.
Dog!
Defensive end and one of the one-on-ones early in camp. Was that just kind of experimenting with some new moves, or is that something?
Nah, bro, I'm really a freak, bro. Like, the world don't see you. Point blank, period.
When does that crack come into play for you?
Even if they get nothing out of Trey Lance from here on out, at least he did win the one Texans game.
Right.
I don't think you could point to anything Kinlaw's done and be like, yeah, that helped them win that game.
Wow. Well,
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm serious.
No doubt.
Like,
no doubt.
Solomon Thomas, if I were to say to you, the Solomon Thomas play of his career in a 49er uniform, I don't think I could come up with one. Him just lining up off sides again.
Against Minnesota? Was that Minnesota? Was that him that jumped off sides in Minnesota? Remember that first game of the season?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know much about Solomon Thomas in good plays. Although he did make a cameo on Hard Knocks. I was like, he's with the Jets.
He was a little weird on there. But
the defensive lineman also looked at him kind of weird.
Right?
Looked at him strange. Mac, this is great. I love how everyone is crying about no running plays while simultaneously saying the offensive line was also. Sounds like running would be a recipe for disaster. I highly doubt this offensive line was going to blow anybody off the football. So running the ball may have just been a waste of play.
There were a couple plays. It was pretty funny. Like, again, it's just, you still got to get rid of the ball, but there's a couple plays. 63 got absolutely blown up. How do you pronounce his name with a Z?
Yeah, let me pull up that text.
63. I think he was the right guard. He got absolutely pancaked. And I couldn't name one defensive lineman for the Oakland Raiders, Vegas Raiders.
Vegas Raiders.
Excuse me. Apologies.
Felt like a Niner home game, though. 63. Nick Zakiel. I'm going to just say Nick Zakiel. It's a silent J at the end of that name. So
was that spelt with 4 Z's after he got pancaked?
Oh, boy. Wow. D and Benicia, what's happening?
Night.
What's up, D? D, you there?
Hi, guys.
What's up, D?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you now.
Okay. First time, long time. I've been watching this team for about 43 years, and I'm very disheartened by what I'm seeing on the field. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I do remember very well the Bill Walsh era, and it seems to me the sheer arrogance of Kyle Shanahan thinking that he's basically the Yoda of all drafting decisions, drafting Trey Lance, a person that went to a college that nobody's ever really heard about, that's never played anybody, when there were so many other options on the board, as well as cutting a guy like, not re-signing a guy like Robbie Gould, who was literally Mr. Automatic. I think that Kyle's ego has become so massive. He really wants to be the next Bill Walsh, but Bill Walsh was a guy that surrounded himself with very intelligent people and made rational decisions based on logic and intelligence. And I think that the team is going in the wrong direction with Kyle. He's a hell of a play caller, for sure. But I think that in terms of evaluating talent and player personnel decisions, I think that he's really pointing the team in the wrong direction. Maybe I'm right.
Listen,
maybe I'm wrong.
That feels a little
real quick.
ridiculous.
You talk about. I'm going to start with your first point. North Dakota State. Did you watch any of the Chargers-Rams preseason game Saturday?
I watched one of them.
Guy named Easton Stick.
I don't usually watch Charger games.
Okay, but did you watch Easton Stick Saturday? You know where Easton Stick played? You played at North Dakota State.
No, I don't have direct.
All right.
Yeah,
all right,
I didn't see that game, no.
All right, well, Easton Stick looked like a quarterback capable of maybe starting the game or two. He didn't look overwhelmed. So the small college thing, I don't buy that notion.
Christian Watson looked pretty good with the Packers.
He looked like an all-pro.
I mean, you just either can play or you can't.
Yeah.
But
and so the thing with Trey, though, is what's killing him? What's killing Trey Lance? It's a lack of playing time. That's why I say when it feels like James Wiseman a little bit. First year, Trey Lance gets some spot minutes. Now, James Wiseman played a lot, and he got hurt. The second year, James Wiseman doesn't play at all. Really stunted his development. Same thing with Trey. He played 4.5 quarters of football last season.
I mean, he's played like
hurt.
It feels like 5 games in 5 years.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
No one is denying that.
And so the speed of the game, it just looks a little fast for him. Now, he does settle in. Now, I'll give him credit. The 2-minute drill after the first down play in which he almost threw an interception. And if we're going to do this with Jimmy Garoppolo, the Jimmy no throws. And if I'm going to do this with Brock Purdy saying, well, he almost threw an interception here, then I got to do it to my guy, Trey Lance, too.
Well, it should have been an interception.
Should have thrown 2 picks yesterday.
Yes.
It would have been a disastrous performance.
I think the one on with like the zone where the linebacker was like underneath, 50-50. But yes, you could say that could have been I would say it's more 50-50, which is fine, whatever. But the one
hit him right in the heads.
What?
Hit him right in the heads.
He was reaching to the left. But whatever. I mean, like, again, whatever. It's the bigger thing is this, B. Like, Trey Lance, if he's going to just suck and not play for this team, let's just say he doesn't play for this team at all, you almost have to have Brock Purdy be a top 12 quarterback to offset how big of a miss that is. Like, you almost have to have it. And he played like that last year. I don't know if he will this year. That's like, and I know you're saying to me like, oh, it's practice, and it's just a preseason. But like everything that everybody's saying is that like the number ones for the Niners didn't look great against the Raiders in the 2 joint practices. That's to me the bigger takeaway than anything about Trey Lance yesterday. It's like I want my number ones looking a lot better. It felt like to me like the entire elite core of this team took a Vegas vacation.